So I'm the best welterweight in the division.
You're not the best in the division. You didn't even win your last fight.
What's up, people? Everybody loves trash talking, especially when it backfires. So we're back with another selection featuring some UFC champions, each in verbal wars, but on both sides of the beating. Don't forget to support our work by subscribing, and you know where the like button is, so let's get straight into it.
I think she's here to try to get in my mind, to try to fight me, but I will fight her in July 8th. Now I'm not here to fight.
These two have so much animosity between each other, I honestly don't know how they're going to make it through this season.
Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Claudia Gadelha have had two bouts in their careers. The first was at the end of 2014 for the title elimination, where Yo celebrated with a split decision and went on to capture the title and defend it 5 times. However, their second clash was much more heated when their teams met on Ultimate Fighter.
As you can see this entire season, these two do not like each other. There is nothing more fun in the UFC when you have this rivalry, not only between the champion and the #1 contender, the two baddest 115-pounders in the world, but they hate each other. And that makes it so much more fun.
And indeed it does. The girls carried the tension whenever they met.
Make sure you're gonna be ready. Shut up. Shut up.
Awesome, you too. No, that's good, that's good. Good. We're good.
Joanna gave some low blows mocking Claudia's coach and the fact that she is Brazilian. Gadelha came in with respect, but very quickly started to hate Joanna as a person.
How are you today?
I'm great.
Look what I bring.
Nice. I like that.
She like that, you heard?
As the icing on the cake, when it was time to fight, the girls put on a show for each other in an exciting fight, showing their hate throughout 5 rounds. Joanna put on a striking masterclass over Gadelha, who had a better grappling performance that night. Luckily, Yo had an excellent takedown defense, which with her striking was enough to emerge as the winner. Joanna's career went over the roof for the rest of her career, but unfortunately her self-confidence also went too high. As they say, he who flies high falls low, and Queen Yo stumbled like never before. Rose Namajunas didn't have a successful career like Joanna, but she still got a chance for a title fight, where she showed that it's always the silent ones that we need to watch out for. Not only did she not remain undefeated, but Rose handed her first loss via knockout in the first round. If you're wondering why there aren't any clips of Namajunas speaking, it's because she was busy holding her ground, being patient, and whispering the prayers while Joe did all the talking. To make matters worse for Joanna, she also lost the rematch by decision, and instead of retiring undefeated, she lost 5 of her last 7 fights.
Now I'm gonna cut your head off. Guarantee it. You should thank me for your job, Dwayne, sit the down, dude. You are trying to be be cool with it.
Although he was far from a dominant champion, Cody Garbrandt suffered a similar fate to Joanna. Undefeated with 10 fights and 9 finishes, No Love got a shot at the title against division legend Dominic Cruz. Everyone who followed the build-up fights knows how little chance Cody was given in the fight and on the microphone. Safe to say, Dominic was driving him crazy with his calmness and wide vocabulary. He could give private lessons in trash talk because Cody, being emotionally unstable, was left without words most of the time, or with a few stupid words to say.
Even these little pillow hands are able to put down your boy Faber. So watch what happens when I'm going to do to you, little boy. Watch what I'm going to do to you.
Look at your legs, bro.
The bad thing for Garbrandt was that, unlike him, Dominic is very well-spoken version of himself ever. No Love showed no love and dominated the Dominator like no one before. He stifled his footwork and takedown attempts, and even though Dominic led in punches thrown, Cody's punches meant business. Garbrandt gave one of the most perfect title fight performances, winning the hearts of the audience. He was the greatest bantamweight of all time, but only for one night. His reign didn't even last a year, as he was scheduled to defend the title against another bantamweight great, TJ Dillashaw. Dana White sure knows how to produce money because he put these two hotheads in Ultimate Fighter, well knowing they would bring the show. There is something special about former clubmates clashing, especially if both are hungry to take each other's heads off, and especially when the title is on the line. Garbrandt was giving more attention to Dillashaw than his team, which shows Cruz was right when he said that Cody is someone who has a hard time controlling himself. Although Cody had dumb things to say again, people at least partially believed that after the masterclass from the last fight, he might pull it off. Well, that didn't happen, and it backfired in the worst possible way. Enraged, Cody was all over TJ with his striking in round 1, almost knocking him out at the end of the first. Things started to look good for him until they didn't. Dillashaw came in second round, new and improved, showing he is the smarter fighter. Cody lost the title via knockout. He lost the rematch also by knockout, and today, out of the last 9 matches, he has 6 defeats.
You know, you've had a week to reflect on this now that you got this fight retire, and tell me, you know, he's defended the belt so many times, he's beaten the best in the division. Why are you the guy?
So I'm the best welterweight in the division.
You're not the best in the division. You didn't even win your last fight against Wonder Boy, and you didn't even make weight. So, with that said, I've consistently fought the top guys. I knocked out Robbie Lawler when he was the most vicious champion in record-breaking time.
Every dog has its day.
Everybody has their day.
Tyron Woodley was a welterweight champion in his day who used to put people where they belonged. But just like in the previous examples, this king did not rule forever. He defended his title 3 times before it was time for the young and hungry Darren Till, who went through most of his opponents. But this time, the gorilla bit off more than he could chew.
Pressure, I believe he crumbles under pressure. I believe he doesn't like being pressured up against the cage. You know, he moves. It's like a deer in headlights. You know, that's where I see.
Tyron's a good fighter when he's coming forward and bullying people. My will be imposed on Tyron Woodley, so that's how I see the fight playing out. And
when we listen closely, Till does not exaggerate in trash talk. He just has the illusion that he is much better than he thinks. Taking a shortcut to a title shot in the UFC can often mean a downfall. Darren won the audience with his persona and confident way of fighting, but nothing could save him from what he found in the fight against Woodley. The gorilla became one of the fighters who, in his overconfidence, found ruin instead of success. The Chosen One absolutely manhandled him for the first time in his career. Till went down without a shot being fired. He got knocked down, ground pounded, and submitted in 2 rounds. Till was completely broken afterward, having 4 more defeats in his last 5 fights, but just like Darren said, every dog has its day. In the next title defense, Tehran found himself on the other side of the beating when he was scheduled to face Kamaru Usman.
I ain't backing up. You hit me, I'm still coming. And I'm coming all night long, T-Wood. Please don't back up.
Bruh, Marty, I'm your mentor. You talking back to your mentor right now.
Look at the gap I closed in. How many
I
years?
tenderized all your opponents for you. I wrote the book on how to beat Damian Maia. You should thank me. You should give me a percentage of. You should give me a percentage of your purse.
This was one of Woodley's better pre-conferences, and Usman didn't spare him with his words either. But when we talk about the fight, well, it wasn't his year. And neither were the next 2 after that because he lost the next 3 bouts, and as a bonus got knocked out by Jake Paul. T-Wood was brutalized and demolished throughout 5 rounds, and Kamaru should end up in prison, considering what he did to him. Israel Adesanya is another man who made many opponents eat their words during his reign. Marvin Vettori and Derek Brunson know this firsthand, but the funniest was Paulo Costa. Their whole story is something we never get bored of. The Eraser then had 13 wins and 12 finishes, and the fight between the two was reminiscent of David and Goliath. It had written, "Trash talk goes wrong" all over it.
He has a good skills. His bad skills is run away. Is avoid the fight. He's very good on that. The only thing more disturbing than his hair was his fight against my man. Was
black belt? Yeah, I am. I'm ahead of the game, bro. You're gonna need that when you get downgraded. I have a gift for you. I'm gonna knock your ass out, bitch. Well, I'm knocking your ass out. What you gonna do? Come on. It's theatrics. Don't worry. It's all. Yo, you get your time. You get the time. No, I'm good. You're good. Go ahead. Come in here.
Things started to go sideways for Paulo on the night when he got in the cage with a skinny clown. Of all Israel's victories, this one was the sweetest. Adesanya played a smart game, damaging the Giant's front leg and then owning him with the shots to knock him out in the second round and breakdance over him. Even though he looked good in his last fights, Paulo now has 3 defeats in the last 4. Adesanya also found some roadblocks. His superior nemesis, Alex Pereira, crossed over from kickboxing to MMA and decided to hunt him down while chasing greatness. The dominant champion.
At the end of the day, no one knows who the he is. And he's going to be that guy when I'm world champion, when I'm a legend. He's going to be at some pub talking some shit about, I beat that guy one time.
It was another one of the perfect MMA moments decorated with tension. Alex has proven to be someone who destroys everything he touches, and Adesanya was in the wrong place at the wrong time. That didn't stop him from talking like Alex didn't beat him 3 times in a row.
All I ever chased was bodies, put them in front of me and I take. And this is going to be no different. I don't chase anything, they all chase me.
He was right, but not only did Alex chase him, he hunted him down. Pereira was the perfect man to ruin Israel's perfect score, and he did it in legendary fashion. As in all their fights, Izzy was better throughout the entire match, of course, until Alex's fist decided to remove Adesanya from the fight a few minutes before the final bell. We left the Swedish trash talk for last, and what's sweeter than 2 angry rivals who are sharp on the tongue and in the fight? Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier went back-to-back in the UFC, and their hatred set the roof of the building on fire. We won't even count the second fight because Conor was super nice, before getting his ass kicked.
The build up to the last fight, you were unusually kind to Dustin. Now on fight week, it's the exact opposite. So when did that switch happen?
Because he got knocked the fuck out.
Long before the 2 last fights, the 2 young featherweights first clashed back in 2014 during McGregor's unstoppable run to the title.
I've never disliked somebody that much that I've ever fought.
I'm a nice guy now.
This was at a time when Conor was lethal with his mental warfare, and Dustin, just like Cody, was emotionally unstable.
I'm just being myself. This is who I am. I like to look good and whoop ass. It's what I do best. September 27th, I'm going to rip Dustin's head clean off, you know. It makes no difference, but when he wakes up with his nose plastered on the other side of his face, he's going to know it's not all talk.
That's something that happens every night, every day, and every time it's different, you know. Sometimes it's on the feet, sometimes it's submission, but in the end, my hand's raised every time, and I'm 100% confident in that.
You know, he doesn't have a vision of what's going to happen, as you can clearly see. Yeah, throughout training camp, you definitely have shots that you see, that you feel, but this is. Trust me, this is a first-round KO for me. I have no doubt in my mind.
Dustin's destruction was due to too much desire to get Conor as soon as possible, and so he fell straight into his trap. Conor's trash talk got him fired up and served on the plate. Mystic Mac was fluid with words and his way of fighting in the first bout. He did what he promised to do, took Dustin's head clean off in the first round.
I don't just knock them out, I pick the round.
After Khabib Nurmagomedov squeezed the mystic powers from McGregor and later on Dustin knocked him out, Conor returned as a bitter version of himself.
Joe, in 16 hours' time, this man is gonna learn that if you disrespect a person's kindness and take it as a weakness, you must pay. Tomorrow night, I'm gonna make this man pay with his life, and I mean it. You're dead in that octagon tomorrow night.
And Dustin came well prepared physically and mentally, aware of McGregor's notorious game plan.
Tomorrow night, tune in. I want to thank you all for the cheers, the boos. I love you all. I want to give a shout out to a young man in the audience, a real fighter from Lafayette, Louisiana.
Far from the old version of himself, Conor was all bark, making promises and threats without the ability to back it up. The angrier he got, the more Irish his accent became.
One fight since Barack Obama was president.
Hold your mouth, I'll go down and smash your nose.
Conor,
I'll go down and smash your nose.
Over the last 6 fights.
You little rabbit thing. Someone smack him.
Why should anyone expect anything different on Saturday?
It's one more fight I won than your little sissy ass, you little fanny pack.
Conor entered the third fight with the same mentality as Dustin in the first, mad and enraged. He fell into his own trap this time, and Poirier stood his ground and took a fight to him. As Dustin said, karma is not a bitch, she is a mirror. McGregor got outworked in the first round regardless of his will to demolish Dustin, and at the end of it, he got exactly what he deserved. In the last 4 fights, where he suffered 3 defeats, McGregor ate his trash talk twice and in the worst possible way. The Notorious was eaten by his own negativity, but as we know from his last Octagon interview, some people will never learn.
Your wife is in me DMs, hey baby, hit me back up, I'll chat to you later on. Little
The counter effects of trash talk are a special medicine for the soul of MMA fans, and as you can see, they can go both ways. We believe you enjoyed today's selection. We are done for today, but we will be back again. So turn on the notification bell so you don't miss it. Leave your valued thoughts in the comments and help our channel grow. Peace out.